Hey, fellow recording junkies. One of the common questions I get around here is somebody will call and say, how much does it cost to record? So it's kind of an open-ended question, but very common. So I thought I would give you a quick example of a singer-songwriter scenario. So let's get into it.
Okay, stand by 13, we're looking at it.
So in this example here, and that's all it is an example just to give you an idea, we have a typical singer-songwriter that plays acoustic guitar and sings. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to map out the song. All right, and what does that mean? That means we determine the tempo, the key, and the song sections, intro, verses, choruses, bridges, etc. And then we get all that mapped out. Once that's mapped out, then I send you out into the live room there. And in the live room, I just set you up and have you just run through it real quick, just one time as a scratch, just for reference, like something to hang your hat on. This is how the song goes. Next, I'll mic just the acoustic guitar and have you play just that. Next, I'll have you do just your lead vocal. Then we start throwing some stuff at it. Let's say in this scenario, we wanted a full rhythm section of guitars, bass, and drums. So we're going to throw a couple rhythm guitars on it, a lead guitar, a bass guitar, and drums. If I get a pro studio musician to come in and do that, generally they're between $60 and $100 an hour, but in this case, let's say that it's an average of $75. And let's say that it takes a couple hours to lay down that part, or those parts, excuse me. That's pretty aggressive, but let's say 2 hours. So then we go on from there, and maybe you want to do a couple backing vocals or something. So that can take up to a couple hours because generally speaking, you're kind of making up the parts as you go and seeing what sounds good or what you want and what you don't want. Then lastly is the mix itself. So in a typical situation like this, a song like this is pretty simple to mix, and so it wouldn't take more than a couple hours. So let's say a couple hours there. So what does all that add up to? Well, that adds up to about $150 for studio musicians, about $680 for studio time, which is a total of about $830. By comparisons, studios in bigger cities, that would cost you about $5 grand. So we're pretty reasonable down here, and you can kind of extrapolate, add and subtract as to what you think applies to you or doesn't apply to you. I've done stuff with artists where we've spent several $1,000s on one song because we're doing orchestrations. We're also adding pro keyboard players, etc. You know, things like that, pro backup singers. So that kind of stuff can add up. But just keep all this in mind and then mull it over and give us a call. Thanks.
Okay, stand by 13, we're looking at it.